So what if I said, I want you to solve 2 plus 2, and I want you to give me the answer, but I want you to give me the answer without talking, typing, and I want you to do it from. I want you to do it to send me the answer in an envelope while you're riding in the Goodyear blimp on a Tuesday during a rainstorm, and holding one leg in the air and drinking a beer. Right? If I said that, if I said no, I'm sorry, Gloria, you put it in the chat, you put four, that's wrong. You got it wrong. You didn't solve the problem, so because you didn't do it the right way. I told you you have to be in the Goodyear blimp, drinking a beer on a Tuesday while the weather's bad, and you have to mail it, with an envelope, and it has to go through UPS. Right. And then I will accept your answer that 2 plus 2 is 4, but I will only believe you if it comes in a certain package, if it's done a certain way. That's the problem. The problem is they complicate your path to liberation. That's what they do. And I don't know why the hell they do it. I think it's because they love, think about this. You can build a whole industry around solving simple problems in the wrong way. That's what they do. This is welcome to capitalism. There's a whole industry built around black oppression. There's a whole stack of people that make millions of dollars by keeping black people perpetually confused and sad and lost and depressed and angry. There's a whole $1 trillion industry around emotional manipulation of black people. And I ain't here for none of that shit. It's stupid. It's wrong. My bias as a financial scholar came from people like, there was a guy named Eugene Fama at the University of Chicago. University of Chicago is kind of like the Vatican of finance. Whenever they would put out a theory or write a research paper, we didn't dare challenge University of Chicago because they were like the economic gangsters of academia. They were like Rock Nation used to be or something. Like when they walked in the building, it's like with the Snoop Dogg video with Dr. Dre, and everything's in slow motion and they blowing smoke like Snoop did, and you just know, like those are the guys, right? The Tupac and the Dr. Dre. That's what they were in finance. Well, Eugene Fama was like the boss of the boss's boss, right? He's the Tupac of finance. And one thing I loved about Eugene Fama when I would read his research papers, that was got it. And the thing I liked about this guy was I never met him, but, but I liked the fact that he would solve the most complicated problems in the simplest way. He would write a paper that was so simple you could explain it to a 5-year-old, but it would be some amazing idea that was really effective that actually worked, and it would just be super simple. And I believe, and that became like my favorite type of paper to read. Like, okay, so you didn't use some complicated mathematical procedure. You didn't go through some sort of brute force methodology that required a supercomputer. You just literally said no, 2 plus 2 is 4, and here's why it's equal to 4. And I think that for black people, I think we got to go back to the basics. And again with Fama, he was great, and everybody on my dissertation, every single one of my dissertation committee members went to the University of Chicago. I didn't get in. I applied, I didn't get in. But anyway, all of my committee members went to Chicago, and so this is the way I think about things. My goal is not to say, "Oh, I've got this PhD. I'm going to impress you by making everything super complex and showing you how smart I am." I don't really feel the need to do that. My goal is to say, how do we simplify this? Because if I can't simplify it to you in a way that you can explain it to your 5-year-old, then you know what that means? That means I really don't understand it.